what's up? It's Rob Gordon, the Wingman. I'm here at Lake Mohave, my favorite place to wing. Here to test out the Unifoil Vyper 170. As you guys know, I gave back my Axis foils. I didn't think it was the right foils for me to be on for freestyle, which is my main gig. And yeah, so I've been riding this a couple of times, and I wanted to come up here to ride some good swell, show that capability, and also to get some good freestyle. But today didn't really deliver. I got a little bit of riding in, but it's pretty light wind. Tomorrow's supposed to be really good. We'll see.
I had tried to get some footage at Cabrillo in LA, but on the inside where I can set up the camera, the wind is always a little weird and it just wasn't that windy and the forecast didn't look good. But Lake Mojave looked good and it usually delivers. So this is the protective padded cases that comes with the Unifoil Vyper. You got the mast bag, you got the wing bag, which does not have a wing in it because it would be sticking out, and then you have the tool bag and the fuse bag. This fuse, I think, is the 33 centimeters, and then you have the mast, which is 83 centimeters, or I guess 830 millimeters, and then you have the wing, which is 170 square inches. So I don't know why they have all these different measurements. And I wish all wing, foil companies would just decide what they want to use. It's a medium fuse. And then you have this tool bag for all your odds and ends, which is kind of a nice little thing to have as well. I'll show you what's inside this tool bag. We got all these assorted nuts and bolts. I think they're all titanium. I'm not convinced on titanium, but this is the spare for the mast in case you strip that nut. And you have some various other screws for the foil itself. That comes with this nice Torx like ratchet kind of thing, and then a couple of manual ones. And then there's also these shims. You have a neutral, which is a 0, all the way up to a 3-degree shim. I think it's positive. Yeah, I've been messing around with that. It seems to make a big difference. Compared to the Access aluminum setup I was on, this foil is really easy to set up. Just a couple of screws and a shim in the rear wing, and then you slide the fuse into the wing with one screw attachment, and then 2 short M8 screws into the mast. The whole thing is carbon. I don't even have Tef gel on it yet. It seems fine. So this is the 1.5 shim I've been using. I tried the 1, which seems fast but loose, and then I tried the 2, which is a little bit more stable but more drag. 1.5 seems pretty good at 200 pounds. You're going to have to play with that. And then this is, the mast slots into the fuse, and it's a really tight, nice connection, but no mallet necessary. And then you see the couple of screws there, and very, very stiff construction. The rear wings are G10 material. They come in a pack of 3. This is the Shiv. I just said I wanted one, but they go ahead and gave me the shunt as well. If you look at them side by side, they look pretty much the same, but then if you look at the profile, they're supposedly a little different. The Shiv is a little more neutral, and then the shunt is a little more front foot pressure, and then there's one more, the shank, I think, which is back foot, which I didn't want because I've always got too much back foot already. I found the rear wings much too sharp, so I went ahead and sanded them down to try and protect my wings and myself. And then the front wing here, which is really dirty, but yeah, its edge is much better, not nearly as sharp as the Access. I did touch it up just a little bit. And here you can see the foil attached to the board. Looks good. I like the big logo. You got the 4 mash track inserts. You can slide them in. You don't have to go through the foil, which is nice. The cord is a little bit thicker on this high modulus mask, and it tapers down, which you definitely feel as you ride the foil high in the water. It's nice. And then they call this the katana construction, and you see a nice tight insert there. The 170 has an aspect ratio of 6, so very mid aspect, and it's got that wider cord, which gives it that good pop for freestyle. It's also got a little bit thicker profile, and that allows you to get up easy. So, unfortunately, the first day at Lake Mohave, the forecast did not really live up to what it said it was. I was able to get up on foil a little bit, and I decided to try and do some upwind testing. Here you can see I'm underpowered. I'm having to pump the foil, so I'm not really going that far upwind. After I jibe, I'm able to get a little bit better angle on the chop, and also I think the wind gets a little bit of a gust, and I can really start cranking up wind. Once this foil has a little bit of power, it really likes to run, and so it helps build a little bit more apparent wind, and it's sort of like, a positive feedback mechanism. The foil really starts going, and you can go as far upwind as you want, really. And then if the wind dies or there's lulls, you are still able to glide a little bit and then pump your way through the lulls and, maintain your course. If not, continue to go upwind a little bit. You can see the end of the track. I've gone upwind fairly far, even with the wind coming and going. So I also tried to surf a little bit of the small swell. Usually the swell gets very big at Lake Mohave on the south, but it was only blowing like 10 to 15, um, which sort of speaks to how good this foil can do even in light wind. I was able to get up, in the gust. But it's a touchdown right there. It's really like a fun foil to carve on, do these little skate parky maneuvers. It doesn't look very extreme right here, but in real life, those feel like pretty extreme turns. um, I think I try and get a tip out too. I don't know if that's on this or a different uh, video, but yeah, I try to do a little bit of luffing here, but there's not really anything to ride, so I'm just pumping a little bit. And yeah, the foil pumps really pretty well. I'm a big guy pumping that 170. Uh, I go back to doing a little bit more cruising, doing some more of these S turns, and then if I do catch a little bit of swell, I'm able to pump the board over to the next bit and get on that. If you look closely at the track, you can see I've been doing S turns the whole way, having fun riding that swell and, carving it up. And then I see a kiter up ahead that I think I recognize, so I do a little no wind flocka attempt, not able to land it.
Is that Sabrina? Hey, it's Rob. It was supposed to be wind. Maybe.
You might remember Sabrina from the AWSI video with Jin kiteboarding. She's an awesome kiteboarder. I went in because the wind was too light, but here she is, busting some pretty big air considering there's no wind. I know she can get real big air whenever there is wind. So day one at Mojave was not that great, but I just camped out for the night. Another winger from Lake Havasu, he made a campfire. We hung out with some people, and then the next day at 11, the wind did come in. It was pretty windy, um, not honking, but quite windy. I probably could have used my 5, but the only thing I had was my new 6 and a 4, so I took out the 6. And I really wanted to get some freestyle footage because that's what I've been saying this foil is good for, and that's why I got it. So on the first run out, I just try a little baby, like little tail touch, able to land that, just getting dialed into the conditions. And then right after that, I tried a little 360, which I didn't land, but I was feeling pretty good until I tried to do this behind the back tack onto a wave, and oh, I don't know what happened. I just kind of tacoed. I just messed up the turn somehow, and I landed right on the foil with my bicep. I swim after my board because I have no leash, and then you can see me here checking to see if I've sliced through my arm. This is me talking to the camera about just how I don't really know what I did, but my arm is pretty much useless. My left arm is like a T-Rex arm at this point. It's completely useless. So I'm like pretty disappointed I'm not going to be able to do freestyle, but I'm going to try and do some more speed and upwind tests. And if you look at the track, you can see that when there is wind, this foil has no issues going upwind. Those are ridiculous angles, just gaining tons of upwind, even with a bad arm. Then I did a speed test. It was pretty lit here, and I was also going along with the chop, so it was a little bit crazy. But yeah, I got myself up to 23 miles an hour. That got a little bit squirrely, but around 21, it feels real smooth and locked in, and that seemed to be a good top speed for this foil. After I tried that, I slowed down and I just let myself cruise onto some of these swell faces to slow down. I had done some speed tests at Cabrillo in lighter wind, and it seemed to want to top out at around 21 miles an hour in lighter wind, and it feels really good there. When you push it past there, it feels a little bit not meant to do that. And the swell was picking up, so I tried to do some more surfy, skate parky stuff.
Try and get those tips out, huh?
This is a pretty good shot right here of how well the foil pumps across chop and then gets you onto that next swell. I do need to ride the foil a little bit higher though, because that's where it's really got the tapered mast and is more efficient. I see my friend from Lake Havasu. I just do a little baby jump next to him. I don't want to get too crazy because of my arm, but I did try and jump this buoy. I didn't have a lot of speed there, but I did get one good jump going out. It doesn't look that high, but it was pretty high. And I didn't land it though, probably because that left arm didn't have enough back arm pressure. And here is just body dragging after my board after that crash. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed. I drove all the way out there, and then I hurt myself on like the first go of the good wind. And, I just really want to show this foil's capabilities for freestyle, and I, I just wasn't able to.
A little like behind the back turn onto a wave, and I fell. I don't know if you can see this, but man, I just wrecked my bicep. So now it's like I got like one arm. I can barely use the left arm. It's tough. Like I try to do some jumps and stuff, but without that left arm, it's kind of weird. It's too bad because that's what I wanted to review was the freestyle.
I don't bruise easily, but yeah, that arm started to get pretty black and blue over the next couple of days. So I took a day or two off, and then, I really wanted some freestyle footage. So I went back out to Cabrillo and the flat water. The flat water is good for testing a jumping foil because, any foil will jump off of a wave. But here there's just no wind where I can set up my camera. So all these jumps really are just me popping the foil out of the water. There's no wind in the wing. I'm lucky to get around on foil on some of these turns. You can see I'm just not landing anything of consequence. And if I do these turns, I'm touching down on the way out because there's no wind to repower. A little Heineken jibe here. I tried this, tail grab 360, which I'd really like to get, but I wasn't landing anything. Luckily, my friend Clinton also had his GoPro. You can hear him here. And Clinton is just like all stoke and good vibes, and he will get you amped. So here I see him in the water with the GoPro, and I know that there's no wind, but I'm like, whatever, I'm going to land a flock. I'm going to make it happen in front of Clinton. And luckily, I do get one. Barely make it around and get myself back on foil. If I slow this footage down, you can see I'm not even on foil that well, but the Vyper 170 has such aggressive pop that I'm still able to get up in the air high enough to complete my rotation. And that's what makes the Vyper 170 such a good freestyle foil. It's that maneuverability, that aggressive pop, that ease of getting on foil. Okay, I just got off the water at Cabrillo, tried to do some freestyle footage. Man, it's tough. The wind's not great. But that's the cool thing about this foil, because it's got a little bit lower aspect, a little thicker. It gets a lot of good pop, so I'm still able to get some stuff. Luckily, my friend Clinton came through with a decent clip of a flocka. Look, you're just going to have to trust me. This thing is really good for freestyle. You'll see a lot more videos of me on Instagram and stuff doing tricks on this. It's just hard to get the camera set up by myself somewhere I can get all the footage, If I could put the camera right where the wind line is, it would be a different story. Yeah, but look, this thing isn't quite as fast and not quite as much glide as like the HPS 880 that I used to ride, but it's just so fun. Like you've seen the clips of me doing, the surfing, the skate park stuff, pumping across to the next wave.
and then just having fun. It does go pretty fast. You know, it feels good at 21 miles an hour, and that's plenty fast to get a nice good pop up and jump. Yeah, I love the full carbon. It's really easy to deal with, like none of the screws. I'm not even using Tef gel right now. I love that it's got a little bit thicker profile, a little bit wider. It's just super easy to get up. Would it be nice to have a slightly bigger foil for really nice days?
I meant light days, not nice days.
Yeah, it would be, but honestly, if it's blowing enough to really have a decent day, this foil is pretty much good enough. It gets up super easy. You know, it gets up probably as easy as the 910B, but it's got more of the high performance like the 880, you know, so it's really just a great foil, you know. And yeah, I had the injury, and you know, thank God it's not super sharp. I like that. I still sanded it down a little bit, but anyway, I hope you guys check this out. Unifoil Vyper 170. If you're a bigger rider, maybe a little bit bigger one. If you're smaller, maybe a little smaller one. But I think you guys are going to really like riding this foil. You know, if you want to ride super high aspect and, you know, glide forever and, you know, only ride when the conditions are perfect, that's cool too. But I just want to be able to have fun every session. Peace.